Okay, so I'm going to be doing a reaction video to the D&D Direct announcement that they are doing today. I've never tried this before, so please forgive my inability to do this well. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say. I'm very curious on if we're going to hear anything new coming out. I didn't really look up what they're going to be talking about today, so I'm going to be the one kind of behind the times on this. Yeah, so just kind of curious. Let's do it.
So you learn a lot about people when they are playing pretend in a world that isn't real.
I played first when I was 7.
I started about 8 or 9.
Since college, I started playing in 1991.
I started playing in 3rd edition.
My dad, my sisters, my friends, you got me hooked, and I've been playing ever since. This was like some of the best times I've ever had. It's limitless.
I ended up throwing a boot at one of my party members, and he's my husband now. And that's the thing that connects all of us, is that we all love D&D.
We all throw a boot.
Made something. That's the own thing. That's the joy of collaborative storytelling.
It's almost like it's a metaphor for life, right?
This group was the thing that kept me going.
The good friends in this life that I have, I found playing D&D.
This is our tribe. D&D is our tribe.
I think it is important.
You could actually let your imagination go wild.
The world is your oyster. The possibilities are endless.
I'm doing you a favor.
Today, the D&D audience is bigger and more varied than it's ever been before.
But we can come together in the same room. It's a different relationship. It's different bonding.
So what do you want to do?
Remember when Vin Diesel was a big deal in the D&D space?
We have rewritten the player's handbook from beginning to end. So, yeah, if someone asks us what's new, yes.
Yeah.
Making the sections up front that are all about welcoming you into the game and teaching you what the game is before you actually start building a character.
This was a great change.
This is the first player's handbook in the game's half-century of life that teaches you how to play before it tells you anything else.
It's a super
Again, solid move.
way more welcoming than ever.
I love making changes to the game based on what the fans have said.
Dark vision.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so stark, the difference between what we had in 2014, what we had in 2024, and it almost feels like there's more of life and fun potential, and there's more of energy that's just waiting to be released in the 2024 Player's Handbook.
We have brand new spells, enhanced spells, brand new feats, character options that weren't there before, more subclasses than were available before, ways to customize your character that you never could before. Your character's background now influences who your character is through the life of that character in ways that it never did before. Every species option in the book has been redesigned. It is a complete reimagining of the book. When we embarked on the redesign of the Player's Handbook, one of my big priorities for our work was to create a way for our weapon-focused characters to engage with the game in new tactical ways. We created Weapon Mastery to give our fighters, rogues, rangers, paladins, barbarians, and others, really any character who is all about using weapons, a set of tactical gameplay options that they never had before.
It's a very welcome change.
Just as our spellcasters do, that each round they have a set of options can meaningfully alter the tactical situation in a battle.
Raceland and Caravan and Kitiara.
Working with our friends on the D&D Beyond team so that when you go in and you purchase the new Player's Handbook, you will be able to enjoy Weapon Mastery on a character who has access to that feature.
Everything is new in the Player's Handbook. I think every piece of art is new. Everything's illustrated, so the players get to see, trying to support the text as much as possible with options for your characters, options for your spells, options for, and then you can play it. It's basically
Being able to identify with all the characters that are available makes them feel like they're part of it, and they can visualize it better if they can see themselves in these worlds.
The rules glossary of the Player's Handbook is a super handy reference. You can just go away.
This should be released as a PDS. This rules glossary, 100%.
A number of the people who've already seen the book often say, this whole book is great, but I would buy this book just for the rules glossary.
The 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide is really a top-to-bottom rewrite of the 2014 Dungeon Master's Guide. It is chock full of advice for Dungeon Masters old and new for you to really take it and run with it.
There is a big fat Haunted Treasures chapter in the DMG, which is not surprising to anybody who's seen DMGs of old. You've got 100 pages or so of magic items in the DMG. Many of them are new, just so we have a very well-rounded selection of magic items to choose from.
I think the combo of the PHP and the DMG combined really feels like something that will be way easier for a new player to experience, from whether you want to be a DM.
There's so much more art in this book than there was in the last one. And 99% of the art in this book is new.
Dragons are cool, and we like dragons.
This is by far the most monster-packed monster manual D&D has ever had. Part of that, frankly, is when I was drafting the original outline, I just couldn't stop. Yes, the monster manuals might give you the rules for the monsters and cool art. Really, for me, it's this massive tome of inspiration.
I'm working on the monster manual. I think about when I was a kid picking up the book and being like, this is the coolest creature I've ever seen. I want to make a campaign with this in it. Or like, I'm just obsessed with how a displacer beast looks. I want to make this monster manual amazing.
I'm so excited for other people to be able to read and engage and just opening the door.
Hey, that was Justin Alexander.
So much fun.
We're working on translating the Player's Handbook and the other core books into French and Italian and German and Spanish.
It's so wonderful when we can have
good choice
to make it easier for the next generation of D&D fans in other parts of the world to jump right into the game and start playing.
Genuinely, I love this game, and I think it helps so many people from a role play perspective, friend perspective, and just a way to hang out with your friends to get to know new people, and we can let you play better or find new things, or even better, find new friends and find social groups and express yourself in a way that you've never been able to do. That's great.
So when we think about D&D into the future, one of the ways that we're thinking about it is, what can we offer our fans that are the best versions of things that they've never seen before and things that they may have experienced but they want more of?
The Dragon Anthology book will be the first anthology and adventure book for the new 2024 rules.
This anthology.
Yeah, start off with dragons.
And it's kind of surprising how many people say that they've actually never fought a dragon in D&D.
It is a book of 10 short adventures that all feature dragons in dungeons.
Who'd have thought? That's a good idea. Starter set. Okay, all right.
It's a new starter set that we are creating. We really lean into using components to teach people how to play.
I'm always fascinated by playing with new players. So the first time that a group sees a beholder and doesn't know how many eyes it has or what they do, it's going to be an epic moment for them.
The 2014 starter set was phenomenal. Lost Mines of Vendover was great. The ones after that, I don't know. I'm hopeful.
There's the Keep on the Borderlands, there's the wilderness itself, and then there is the Caves of Chaos. Sets them forth on this, this awesome journey that they can have for years and years and years, and hopefully bring that starter experience to someone else down the line.
Okay.
We can't say enough about how grateful we are to the local game store community. So how do we set it up so that they can create these amazing, beautiful play events? Part of the way that we're doing that is game stores will now get early access to our releases 2 weeks early.
Take that, Amazon.
Releases will be supported by play programs so that A store owner can go, hey, you got your book early, and now here's some adventures to play along with it with all of your friends in the store. One thing I love the most in this world is that's when I can bring Magic and D&D together.
I love Magic the Gathering combined with Dungeons and Dragons. I do.
And Magic is going to highlight D&D's 50th anniversary with some secret lair drops today.
What's your favorite part of D&D?
So many things. The next step for us with LEGO is really to explore what it looks like beyond a major set. And so we're doing 12 mini.
I'm a little meh on this. I mean, it's neat, but
Very soon. How exciting is that?
To be part of a community of authors and creators that grow my game table more than just the people sitting at it is so special. That's kind of been the dream.
Dungeon Dudes, by the way.
We're very excited to just add our voice and our passion to the bigger picture.
We're so excited to have so many people making and sharing their D&D content with other people. We're thrilled to announce some of our partnerships with creators.
Wow, Free League. Ghost Fire, CDM. I don't know Griffins or Loot. I need to go check this out. Forgotten Realms, dude.
Of D&D's core books was us also wanting to return to D&D's most popular setting, the Forgotten Realms.
Ooh, Greyhawk people are going to be pissed.
Forgotten Realms guide. There hasn't been a player's guide in 5th edition.
I would argue English more complex one.
Return to the Realms is going to be in 2 books. One tailor-made for dungeon masters, and the other a book that is tailor-made for players, but also of use to our DMs.
We start the new player options. Lots of great, crunchy stuff for players to dig into to make new characters, new subclasses, new feats, new backgrounds, new spells, new kinds of spells. And then a chapter on factions that player characters can belong to. A lot of these will be factions that you'll recognize, like Harper's or the Red Wizards of Thay, and maybe a couple of new ones that maybe got promoted.
Then over in the Dungeon Master-focused book, that's where we're really going to dig into different parts of the realm.
If you want to do urban fantasy, well, we've got Baldur's Gate just for you. If you want to go to
Sword Coast,
to take your adventure off to Icewind Dale.
Sword Coast,
Classic D&D fantasy, where you have all these little isolated towns that live around this giant elvish mega dungeon that you can go into and explore. There's the Dale Lands for you.
Yeah, okay, Dalelands, finally.
Conflict that you can resolve without violence. That's all the Moonshae Isles. And then finally,
ooh, Calishan, okay. Okay, so we're expanding outside of the Sword Coast North, which is good. We needed that for a bit, not just Chult and Icewind Dale.
Well, to be creating source books for players and DMs will invite them back into that world in a way that we haven't done in years.
The 3rd edition Forgotten Realms campaign guide is one of my favorite books ever, so I'm interested to see what they come up with here.
Resource of tools and ways
Can anybody catch that Eberron Rising from the Last War next to that guy on the desk?
share it with their friends, share their creativity together, and create the next 50 years of D&D.
No Big Adventure?
And I'm here to save you again.
Okay.
So many of us played Baldur's Gate 3.
I played that.
This is the opportunity for
We all played
to continue their adventures in this new way to play D&D. We have this 3D sandbox where you can bring your friends and play D&D with all of these cool 3D environment pieces and miniatures that come with the product. You can start experiencing the role-playing, but in
the VTT. Okay.
friendly format.
You go take those characters, Asterion and Karlak, you get to play with them and just tell your own tale.
Where people who may be used to video games actually get to see the thing that you're talking about instead of just trying to imagine it.
And it's not meant to replace your imagination. In fact, you actually need a lot of imagination still.
You actually just pick up the miniatures and move them around, and you can build things.
Cool. Of course, terrain sellers like me still advocate for physical, but this is cool.
Look at, manipulate, dress up. What we're trying to do is get the most fast, fun, accessible version of the game.
It's basically playing D&D on your own virtual tabletop. Just easy, fast, fun. If you played with minis before, you're just playing with minis here. It's just a place for you to connect with your friends online whenever you want.
Looks interesting. Don't know if it's for me, but looks interesting.
We're creating a lot of really cool assets so you can create these worlds and tell your own story.
The tools aren't just about building the walls. You have to bring life inside that dungeon. And of course you can make monsters, but we want you to be able to add sound effects, visual effects.
The adventure that we created to start your journey in the 3D sandbox is called Danger and Dunbarrow.
This is like the best starter pack that's ever existed for Dungeons & Dragons.
You can also bring in any character from D&D Beyond, and it will bring in
Interesting thing to say.
with all of your abilities and spells, and you can use those by clicking on the buttons. And we also have a thing we're calling the Mini Maker, different scales, sizes, the look of
Cool. Custom minis. Okay, yep, good.
to do to get like magical items. And then you can go back to your characters and redress them up over and over again and show your individuality with growth, and you just feel the progression. We're really trying to capture.
I feel like someone is going to create a 3D print service to print off your miniature from this. I'd like to see that happen. That'd be interesting if Wizards doesn't.
A kind of realistic, trying to capture that beautiful in between where art and figures and games come together.
We have an idea that's called a module. It's a D&D mini adventure meant to last a few hours just so that you can get a taste or get a part of your adventure. We didn't want to tell the whole story for you. So we give you these places. You want to go to a graveyard? Well, here's a graveyard. You want to go to a mine? You want to go to town? You can then assemble them how you want, but each has a pre-made story in it, characters, adventures. And so it's a great place.
Yeah, you can see people in the chat talking about the idea of an STL of your character here. Such.
It's very more fun for most people.
We also have a builder, which is awesome. So you can create your own dungeon, you can create your own forest.
The level builder is sort of like the best miniature set that you could have, and it's at your fingertips.
It comes in a variety of
I don't know if my computer's good enough to run this. I can barely do this video.
for DMs because you can use the level builder to make something very quickly, or you can spend as much time as you want to on it, whatever story they're trying to tell.
The Dungeon Master has to have secrets, has to be able to surprise the players. We have secret doors and traps, right? We have gizmos like, lifts that go up and down, all sorts of crazy stuff. Really make that storytelling dynamic.
2D tokens are our way to let you bring in like every monster that can put any image on there, or you can bring in your own image and create a unique character.
I'm glad that they provided a way for us to bring in our own monsters, although compared to the 3D version, obviously that looks kind of,
We roll dice. We have toys like
But it's good they gave the option.
dragons, but there's so much more you can do with it. All sorts of kinds of games and all sorts of types of toys that we want to add over the years.
We're opening it up so you can bring in any kind of character you want, like fight your wrist against a robot.
I've been mispronouncing that apparently forever. Is that Optimus Prime?
We're using those characters and we're telling stories, but we're giving them over to the players too, so you can really play out what you've always wanted to do. The big deal is it wouldn't be Dungeons & Dragons if you couldn't share it, right? There's a huge creator community. They're the ones who kept the game growing and going. So people are going to be able to share these with each other. We're integrated with D&D Beyond. It's able to very easily.
I wonder if MZ is going to be able to make some designs for this. He does a lot of STLs, free STLs that he lets people print of the D&D monsters. I wonder if they tapped him for any of this.
You can easily upload that through D&D Beyond.
Or if he can create his own just for this.
You can share it. Sigil, drop down your minis and keep right on playing. We're starting off on PC, but we want to go everywhere because we want to connect players across mobile, console, and I don't know, maybe even your fridge. Wherever you want to play, we want to be there at your
D&D on your fridge.
This 3D immersive experience is going to be available for free to try out, but also players
to try out.
Even more advanced tools. And we're going to offer even deeper, richer experiences for those who really want.
Doesn't bother you when companies charge for the things that they make. I get it. Just that was kind of a funny way to say that.
We just want to make it easier, faster, put more creative control in your hands. We want to thank you for being a part of the exciting development of Project Sigil.
And I wonder if we're going to be able to sell or share the dungeons we make with others, right?
beyond.com/project-sigil. And as an extra bonus, when you pre-order the 2024 digital and physical or rulebook bundle, you will get this awesome Gold Dragon Mini to kickstart your project.
That dragon does look fantastic. I don't necessarily need the VTT asset, but that dragon looks amazing. Yeah, but seriously, the first person to make, Castle Ravenloft on this is gonna, makes it well. Is probably gonna, make a bunch of money if we're allowed to sell the dungeons that we make on D&D Beyond, kind of like homebrew, right? I wonder if they're gonna add that in. Is it done? Is that it? Okay, I guess that's it. That was 20 minutes. All right. Well, I don't. Hey, Dungeon Dudes. Whoops. Let me turn that off. Okay, so that was a. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, nothing like too super exciting that we got to learn about, right? I mean, they showed us the VTT, which is pretty neat. Some of the books I'm really excited about. Again, the campaign setting for Forgotten Realms. If it's anything like the campaign setting book that was written for 3.5, I believe it was by Ed Greenwood and Sean K. Reynolds. Hey, bestie. Then I hope they took some inspiration from that, because it's probably my very favorite campaign setting book, or one of them. The player's book, that's good. I'm really happy they're separating a campaign guide versus the player's book versus like Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, which was honestly very lackluster. And now granted, I say that because I have access to some really good setting books, but it's kind of left me kind of feeling a little bit wanting there. I'm sorry, did they say that the starter kit's going to be the Into the Unknown Caves of Chaos stuff? Awesome. Actually, I'm really excited about that. Although I do already have the Goodman Games version of that, the update, so I'm not sure how much I need another starter set. It's kind of weird that Goodman Games got the license to do a lot of this stuff, but then Wizards of the Coast took it back and then now is remaking those exact same things. I don't know. I think Goodman Games did a lot of really great work with that, and I think they deserve a shout out. But I'm not gonna say no to having another starter kit filled with great information. I can just compare rooms of which ones do I like, which version do I like better, I guess, right? Anyway, cool. That's it. That's what I thought about it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, actually, I have a few more things to say. The VTT, as I said, I'm not particularly excited about. It's not that it's not great, and there's certainly some places to go with the digital landscape. It's just not my scene. It's not a place that I do particularly well, and I don't know how to design anything digitally. So that's kind of it's neat. It's neat for some people. I don't like playing online either, so it's not going to be something that I tend to use. But again, it's neat that it exists, and I'm curious on how it's going to open the door for creators to make something that weren't really able to get an official foot in the door before. So I think that's going to be neat. That part will be neat. Dragon Anthology, yes, an anthology series about dragons. Dungeons, dragons. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? Why wouldn't you? Did anybody notice that the VTT Optimus Prime was staring down at Drist, who I've always pronounced Drizzt for years, but I guess it's Drist. So just the idea of being able to toss in Optimus Prime there and have people wonder who would win between these two. I guess it depends on how you stat block them up. I wonder if they have ways to stop Disney characters from getting put into that. I don't know why I feel like Disney wouldn't be too happy. It doesn't matter. It's not important. I don't know. Some cool stuff. Looking forward to it. A lot of great art. I was kind of hoping to hear about a brand new big adventure. It kind of felt like either they didn't announce it yet, or there's nothing over the next year that's coming out like a big major adventure. And that's kind of weird. I'm kind of I got used to the 2 a year, right? You get 2 anthologies and then 2 full on adventures, and I was kind of hoping for something, but maybe that means nothing's coming out, or maybe that just means that they aren't advertising it yet. They don't have to tell us everything all at once. So anyway, all right, well, that's it. That's my little reaction video. Thanks for watching. Bye.